Today must be my favorite day of the month because today I will be resetting for the month to come. I will be setting new goals, I will be planning, I will be summarizing the current month, I will be monitoring my progress, and I just get so excited and so inspired every single time I do that because I can actually see how many things I achieve. I can see that I'm going towards my goals, and there is nothing more inspiring than that. The first thing that I do on my monthly reset day is I go to my projects. And these are the projects that I'm working on the whole entire year. And I love to monitor the progress of these projects every single month and to see where I'm at with those projects. I have 4 biggest projects of the year. The first one is promotion. The second one is buying a place in Canada. The third one is to pay off my mortgage for one of my places in Mexico. And the last one is to monetize my channel on YouTube. That is kind of a goal, but something that I'm not really actively depending on to determine my future success because I have so many other things that are going on in my life. I'm so happy to say that one of these projects has officially been concluded, and this is promotion. I have recently been promoted to a senior position in the recruitment consulting industry in my current company, and I'm beyond grateful for this opportunity. I truly love to be a headhunter. I love to search for talent. I love giving people opportunity to go into the interview process and to potentially receive an offer from the company that they are striving to get into. And I love to have this little bit of a leverage in terms of helping these people to go through the interview, help them write their resumes correctly. It just makes me so happy. It was such an amazing experience. When I got promoted, we actually had a team event at the place of the owner of the company. Our team in general is not very big. There are only 11 people in our team right now. It was extra special because it was a team night, and it was the night for all of these people who gathered together and who are working in this company. And to be acknowledged, to feel so special in one of those days felt so good to me. Now I have only 3 projects that are remaining for the rest of the year. With my task management that is dedicated to this project, I have already sent the promotion project to the completed column. Some of the things that are still kind of in progress are buying a place, and we've seen a few places recently, and we placed one offer for one of those places, but unfortunately we have not been selected. The owner decided to go into a bidding war and just keep asking how much more people can offer. And this is honestly so devastating. If you know, the market in Canada, especially in the West, is really screwed up, and it's really hard to buy a place here. It's so expensive, and it is so hard to get into this market that it's a little bit disheartening, but we are still trying. We are still going on viewings. We're still gonna do it. We will eventually buy a place. We were hoping it's gonna happen this year, but maybe it's good. If it doesn't, then we have an opportunity to save more money and to buy a nicer place. As for Not Started, as I mentioned, the social media growth for me is not a top priority in my life, at least at this point in my life. So repurposing my content to be able to reach more people has not been a priority either. So it stays in the column Not Started. After I'm done with my projects for the year, I go to my monthly intentions. These are the things that I want to do or I want to have every single month on a consistent basis. And I have divided them into several categories. The first category for my monthly intentions is spiritual. And for spiritual, I was 50% successful. In spiritual group, I have intention to meditate and intention to read 1 personal development book per month. And I did not read a personal development book, but this is simply because I'm currently doing a lot of classes on energy, on chakras, on how intentions and manifestation work. And this requires a lot of time and a lot of mental capacity. And including reading a 1 personal development book per month, I think is a little bit too much for me. I usually am either focusing on the classes or I'm focusing on personal development books. But what I did this month is I did meditate and it felt great. I don't meditate every single day. It's something new that I'm doing, but I'm really enjoying it so far. In my emotional, I have tuning in with my 3 main emotions, and this is something that I do on a regular basis. My 3 main emotions are easy, balanced, and excited, and I always try to keep that in mind. And anything I do in life, I try to look through the prism of these 3 emotions and identify how in this or that situation I can make myself feel a little bit more easy, a little bit more balanced, and a little bit more excited. The next thing I have is rewiring exercise, and this is a work with your limiting beliefs. I do work with my limiting beliefs on constant basis because in general, I am someone who is trying to create a new reality for myself, and I can see result of that work. I can see that it's actually working. Any limiting belief about yourself, such as
I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not worthy,
is just a mental rehearsal that you have been doing your whole entire life, and your brain as a muscle got used to rehearsing those phrases and making them a reality for you. So now what I do is I repeat to myself on daily basis that I'm good enough, that I'm worthy of all of the wonderful things, that I'm allowed to have everything I want and I deserve that. And I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my heart that I start believing in this more and more, and I find proof of this in daily life. And also to have one therapy session, this is something that did not happen. I know I have to start doing therapy. I promised this to myself in the beginning of the year that I will be doing therapy, but for some reason I keep postponing it, maybe because I feel comfortable right now. I don't have anything really hard, any difficult challenges to overcome. That's why I don't really tend to think about therapy session that often, but this is definitely something that I just have to start. In the relationship, I did pretty good. I have here be present and have quality time, slowing down, having one date a month at least, and go to the movies. We even went twice to the movies this month. We went to see Insidious 5, I believe, and also Mission Impossible. And I love those little dates. We usually go and grab a slice of pizza before in our favorite pizza chain. So it's just a very, very nice bonding experience for me and my boyfriend. And to have one date, we definitely go out at least once. We have some type of date. We are either going on a hike, we are going on a long walk, and then we are stopping by a restaurant. So it's nice. I love those little things that we do every month. In physical, I did almost great. I did not work out twice a week. I just had so many other things going on that I couldn't really fit in exercising. I think I exercised maybe once a week, but I do want to be a little bit more mindful with exercising in August and to put a little bit more effort into that and not really tell myself that today I will be exercising, but more looking into final goal and seeing myself in a fit and strong body. Conscious rest from Friday to Sunday. This is something that I always do. I need to have that in my life. If I want to have enough energy to change my life, to create a new reality for myself, I need to have energy. And having conscious rest from Friday to Sunday and doing things that fill me up with joy and pleasure and energy is very, very detrimental for my future success, and I always stick to that. Having my nails done once or twice, I did have my nails done once this month. It's just a little treat to myself. I love the day when I'm going to do my nails. I just always feel so refreshed and so pretty when I have my nails done. Maybe we went to 2 to 3 dinner walks so far in July, but I crossed it out because it is 2 to 3 times more than in June. I'll give myself credit here. We did try and we will try more in August. In my career, start the day earlier. I definitely did that. I started my day earlier. I started waking up at 7:30, so I give myself half hour before my workday starts. Have 2 placements. I did have 2 placements this month and also respond to messages right away, and especially to emails. I did that and I'm very, very proud of myself for that, because I'm someone who tend to skip messages that I think are not important, and then they just pile up, and by the end of the week I have so many messages that I need to reply to that it really kind of ruins my day a little bit, and I am really trying hard to reply to those emails right away. In finances, we did somewhat good. Buy one thing only, it didn't happen. I actually had a few purchases this month. The first one was because there was an Amazon sale day in July. So we bought a few things. I bought an external drive. It is what it is. But then I went to Bath and Body Works and I bought a bunch of soaps and I bought a candle, and then I placed an order on iHerb and I bought some creams and serum. So I definitely did not stick to that this month. Eat the food we have first. I was very good at that. I have a lot of frozen food in the freezer, and this month I consciously went through almost everything we had in the freezer until it expired. I feel happy when I'm not wasting so much food. Keep joint expenses under 600. This did not happen because we went to a few viewings around Lower Mainland. We ended up eating out a lot, and it added up to our joint expenses pile. And have 2 to 3 takeouts. I think we had 2 takeouts this month on top of all the times that we were eating out in the restaurant. Travel to go to 1-day trip. It didn't happen. We don't always have time, capacity, energy, mental space to go on a car ride for 1 day. So unfortunately this month wasn't the month. With my pastime, 100% did that. I read 6 fiction books, post 2 to 3 videos a week. I did that, and play co-op video game with my partner. I did that as well. Next is one of my favorite things about monthly reset, and this is month at a glance. And for July month at a glance, I have a few things I'm excited to talk about. The first one is accomplishments. I have already touched on them. It's having 2 placements and it's being promoted. As for the challenges and limiting beliefs, I really had a hard time with finances and a cheapness mentality this month. And it's simply because my mortgage fees grew a little bit over the last month, and I started freaking out that I
might not have enough money and I would not be able to pay my mortgage. And what if I get fired? What if I lose my job? What if this, that, or the other?
And I started panicking and I started being really cheap on myself, and I snapped myself out of it real fast. I had a few days where I did a little bit of shopping for myself. I tried to meditate through this, and I was able to let that go. For the notables is books. I love to talk about the most memorable books of the month, and this month for me there are 2 books that I'm excited to share with you. The first one is a psychological thriller that is such a page turner. It's just mind-blowing. I've probably read a few really good psychological thrillers in my whole entire life, and this makes the list. And this is Local Woman Missing, and I enjoyed it so much. I never expected anything that was happening in the book. The book was told from perspective of several people over the course of 10 years from 2 time periods, 10 years before and 10 years later. I highly recommend this book if you love psychological thrillers. And the second book is A Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. And Carissa Broadbent, I cannot talk enough about her. She's one of my favorite authors by now, next to Sarah J. Maas. And A Daughter of No Worlds is a romantasy, but also a high fantasy. So it's a good mix of both. I loved the main character and her determination and how she took responsibility for everything that was happening with her. And I love the male protagonist as well, Max. Both of them were just amazing. Susanna and Max are one of my favorite fiction couples of all time. I loved their banter. They're so funny. In general, the things that are brought up in this book are pretty epic. So Susanna is a former slave, and she is learning to master her magic to free the slaves of her country. This world is so amazing. It's so big. So many things happen within it. So many plot twists that I never saw coming. So I'm really excited to continue reading this series. Movies and TV shows. I didn't put any movies in this category, but there are 2 TV shows that are just so amazing and I really want to talk about them. The first one is Severance, and I believe that the first season came out in 2022. And I loved the idea of this TV show. It pretty much talks about what if we could implant something in our brain, and it will help us divide our memory. So when we are out of work, we don't remember anything that's happening at work. And when we enter the building we work at, we forget right away what happened outside of work. This idea is explored in so many different ways throughout the first season of this TV show. It explores the idea of choice and focuses on what happens if you suddenly change your mind, but you don't know how to be about it, and no one is supporting you, and now you want to go back to your normal life, but there are no means for you to go back. So it's incredible. It's incredible. The second one is Black Mirror season 6. We watched 2 episodes so far and they're good. I love Black Mirror, but I do feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job with those episodes. The first one was technology related and it was good. I'd say on a Black Mirror scale, it was probably 6 out of 10. But in general, on a regular TV show scale, it's like 9 out of 10. And the second episode was more like a thriller, psychological thriller horror type of thing. There was like not so much technology involved in it. I'm excited to keep watching the series, but I feel like I am a little bit disappointed so far in the first 2 episodes. That's again only 5 episodes, and I feel like they could have done a little bit of a better job with scripting those episodes, but I'm still very, very excited to continue watching the series. Now, we are going into the category of video games of the month, and this reward goes to Inscryption. And Inscryption is a suspense horror game that is also a card game. It's one of those games where you have a set of cards and you go through level to level trying to defeat different monsters, and if you die, you go back to the very beginning. But you don't technically restart from the very beginning. You have certain perks that you have accumulated during your journey, during those levels, and you collect certain cards that you get to keep, and every next time you try to defeat the monsters, you have a little bit of a better advantage. And we played this game together with my boyfriend, and we played it at night, and it was amazing. We had such a great time. The last category here that I want to speak about is purchases and products. The first purchase is technically a purchase, but also a pre-order. If you have watched any of the videos of my book channel, you probably already know what I'm going to be talking about. And this is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. It's the 3rd installment in the Crescent City series, and just look at this cover. This cover is so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I love this black and gold and orange and a little bit of blue in there. And it's stunning. It's one of the most beautiful book cover arts I've ever seen. What the publishing company did with this one is that they are selling different versions of the books in different stores, and the difference between those versions is in additional chapter, and I have selected the one that is sold in American Walmart. I'm so beyond excited about that copy, and I don't want to tell you what chapter it is, because if you haven't read the first 2 books in the series yet, it will be a spoiler for you to see what exclusive chapter is included in this edition. If you have read the series, you probably know. If you haven't read the series, try to not spoil it for yourself. And the second purchase of the month that I'm so excited about, Bath & Body Works candle. It's Cranberry Woods. The scent of it is a combination of cranberry, cinnamon, and cedar. It just smells divine. I wish you could smell that. As soon as summer starts, I need fall. I'm waiting for fall from the first day of summer. This candle reminds me of this transition between August to September, between this kind of like still the end of summer vibes into the fall vibes. I'm really, really excited about it. I'm gonna start burning this candle in the end of August and prepare myself mentally for the fall to come. Okay, now, since we have all the fun things out of the way, let's quickly look at the goals that I had for the month of July and see which ones I have accomplished, which ones I failed. The first goal that I had is to spend more, to let go of cheapness mentality when it comes to getting takeouts, or treating myself to my favorite food. And I was super successful at this. I got sushi in my favorite place. I went out for drinks and I was budgeting really well. I budgeted specifically for that. It helped me mentally be better prepared for spending this money. The next goal that I had is to post 2 videos a week sharing how I changed my life and how I create a new reality for myself. And I definitely did that. I did make videos about my mental shifts. I did a little bit of vlogging and I also talked about finances. And this is kind of the direction that interests me the most right now. So this is probably the direction I'm gonna stick to in the nearest future. If you are liking this type of content of creating a new reality and increasing your finance flow and having energy for accomplishing things, then stick around. Goal 3, I completely miserably failed, and that was to repurpose content to be able to reach more people. I did not do that. I have my website that I didn't touch, and my website is mostly my services as a coach because I am a part-time coach, but I didn't put that much effort into reaching new people. Same as with Facebook and Instagram. And my 4th goal is to have 2 placements. And I did have 2 placements this month. I was doing a lot of cold calling. I was replying to messages right away, and I was going through the recruiters virtual candidate books and reaching out to people that we haven't reached out in a very long period of time. As for the final part of my monthly reset, I set new goals. I set new goals for each month. I try to diversify my goals as much as I can to achieve success as fast as I can, because if I have one and the same goal over and over again, once a month, it just gets boring and I feel like I'm slacking on that. So I change my goals every month depending on how I feel. For this month, my first goal is personal development, and this is working on my mental health. And this is finishing classes on chakras. I have 3 more classes, 6, 7, and 5, 6, 7. Maybe I have 2. I think I have 2 classes left actually. I have Chakra 6 and Chakra 7. Start reading a personal development book. I way overdue. It felt like if I put it actually into one of my monthly goals, I would be more successful with that. Have a session with a therapist, and I just have to force myself to call my therapist and to book that in. The next goal that I have is content, and it's pretty much talk about more topics that I'm interested in, creating a new reality for myself, as well as growing the money flow into my life. Goal 3 is English tutoring channel. I have a channel together with my partner where we create videos helping people learn English, and I really need to get back to the channel because I do see a lot of activity on this channel still, even though we haven't posted on this channel for the whole year. And I want to script 5 videos. They're very short. They're about 3 to 4 minutes each, and edit all of them and post all 5 for the whole month. And goal 4 stays the same. This is my job. I love my job. I love being in corporate environment, and I want to strive to be better and better, to build more connections with people and to help more people land with the opportunities in Canada. And this is, again, cold calling, replying to emails and messages, and going through all the people that are in our system that haven't been contacted for a long period of time. This type of reset routine helps me get centered, helps me refocus, and helps me have a clear vision of where I'm moving towards this month and in general in my life. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and give me a like, and I will see you in the next one.